Hey guys, I wanted to do a demonstration for you real quick on the dip system. Today I'm trying out the OPI Perfection. It comes with a few different bottles. The first one is a base coat. The second one is an activator. The third one is a top coat. And it also comes with a brush cleaner, which I have put in this bottle because their brush cleaner didn't have a bottle. And I've labeled it brush cleaner. It also comes with a small Band-Aid, which is a pH balancing agent. It's gonna dehydrate and prep the nail. It also comes with two of these disposable dip cups. So what I did is, I just wanted to demonstrate on one hand how to use the dip system because I know it's really gaining popularity right now in the salon. So with my hand, I went ahead and I have taken off the previous dip powder. There is a slight blue from last time, and there's a little bit of acrylic from before, but it's really thin, and I can go ahead and just dip with this. So I went ahead and pushed my cuticles back and prepped the natural nail to get any of the dead cuticle off. The next thing I have to do now is put the pH bonder on. So I'm going to get my bottle of pH bond and just put just a little bit on the natural nail. Okay, I'm going to wipe it off and just apply a little bit. You don't really need to put it on the anything that has like an artificial acrylic or anything on it. Just natural. If the whole nail was natural, then you would put it on the whole nail. Okay, so that's gonna dry relatively quickly. The first thing you're gonna do is do the base coat. Let's see if I can move this so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so the first thing, matter of fact, I'm gonna use this as my sorry guys. I'll get this right one day. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my base coat, and it's pretty much it's resin, so it's gonna have a very strong odor to it. And I'm gonna go ahead and apply it to the nail. I'm gonna go close to the cuticle, but not touching the cuticle. I'm gonna end up doing 3 coats, so I don't want the cuticle area to be really, really bulky. So I give myself a little bit of space to kind of build on it, get it even. Okay, once it's even, I put the brush back in, and I'm gonna take my powder and I'm gonna dip it at a 45-degree angle. You dip and you come out. Tap off the excess. Okay? And you let that dry before you dust it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and level up my powder again. Next nail. Get my resin. If your brush starts to harden, what you want to do is put it in the brush cleaner and let it soak. That's why I keep that other bottle. This way I can just, in the middle of a service, swap the brushes out without having to have any downtime. 45-degree angle, tip. Okay, and I'll brush the excess off after. Get my brush. Brush on some resin. I'm not getting it on the skin. And I'm not going super duper close. I'm giving myself a little bit of space to kind of build. Level out my powder. 45-degree angle. Tap off the excess. Next one, same thing. Try to get it not too thick because you don't want the nails to get really bulky. These are, so basically what this is it's resin and super, super finely milled acrylic powder. Okay, so you're gonna get the strength of acrylic, but you can either fill these in or soak them off. And you don't have the odor that acrylics have. but they are really strong. And honestly, I've just started playing around with them because they are becoming so popular. I had to test them out myself first. I really like them, I have to admit. They're very natural feeling, very easy and quick. In the beginning, everything's always going to take a little bit longer. So now that I went ahead and dipped all my nails, I need to brush them off. So I just get a brush that I can sanitize, and I just dust them off once it's dried, and it dries pretty quickly. So I'm just dusting it off, and the reason I'm dusting it is off, I'm going to do another layer, and if I put my activator brush on powder, loose powder, it's automatically going to get hard on the nail. All right, and I'm being gentle. All right, so now I'm going to pretty much just repeat the same process. This time I'm going to go closer to the cuticle. Okay, so now, see, my brush is starting to get a little hard, and when I'm putting it on top of the powder, I want to be super light-handed. I don't want to pull any of the powder onto the brush. So I'm trying not to get it on the skin, and I'm trying to get relatively close to the cuticle now. Making sure that it's even. And then I will dip. Okay. Next one, same thing. Getting a little bit closer to the cuticle now, but not on the skin. And I'm sort of like floating the resin. Resin is like glue. So it does have a strong odor as far as you feel it a little bit like burning your eyes. But it's nothing horrible. Okay, again, floating it on, not too thick. Making sure I get full coverage on that nail. You don't want them to walk out looking like they need a fill-in, because they will ask you to redo it. I'm shimming it just because my finger was touched. I don't want my tip of my nail to touch it, so I haven't quite figured out the best disposable cup to use. I saw online some people were using the little medicine cups. I tried that, and to be honest, I didn't really like it because I felt like I couldn't get that 45-degree angle. So what was happening is when I was dunking my finger in or dipping my finger in, I felt like it was pushing the resin and I was getting like a wrinkle, and I didn't really like that. So with this, I can slide it in at a 45-degree angle, but then I need a little help with the cuticle coverage. So that's why I was shimming it. So this, I'll show you. This is what I had tried earlier. It's just like a medicine cup. And when I dipped it in, I had to go straight. I didn't have the room to do at a 45 because then I hit the cup. And I wasn't a huge fan of it. But like I said, with anything new, you just gotta practice and you'll find something that works for you. What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. It's the fun of art. You figure out your own special technique. The important part though is staying hygienic, which is why I'm not dipping in the container. Whoops. It is messy. Okay. And I'm gonna tap it off. Okay. So now, just wipe this off because I don't want that sparkle to get inside of my other powder. Okay, so now I'm just gonna touch it to see if it's dry, and it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my brush and just dust them off. Okay, so once they're dusted off, I'll look at it to see if I need to dip again. I think they're fine. I wanted them to be a very natural sparkly pink. So once that's taken care of, next thing I'm gonna do is grab my activator, which is the step 2. And with the activator, it almost goes on like alcohol. You're just gonna get some and just put it over your powder and your resin. What that's gonna do is gonna activate it and start to cure it. Okay? You don't need much. And you need about 2 minutes or so for this to fully dry. Once this dries, we're gonna go ahead and just kind of file it and buff it into shape. It's gonna be hard like acrylic. And then once we're filed, we're gonna apply activator again. We're gonna let that dry. And once it's dried, and it'll take about 2 minutes or so. Once it's dried, we're gonna go ahead and put the number 3 top coat. And that's gonna make these super shiny, sparkly, and durable. I mean, I went on vacation with my dip powders and went on a beach and everything, and I didn't get a single lift. I was very impressed. So I'm gonna let these dry, and then I will post the after shot. If you have any questions, feel free to post them. Talk to you soon. Bye. Okay, so the activator has dried. I'm gonna go ahead now and just kind of file them into shape. You really don't need much, to be honest with you. It really does take on a nice slim shape. I'm just kind of touching up the edges so that they can be more crisp. Okay. So I hold my file straight so I get a straight side wall. And straight across the tip. Make sure my lower arches don't have any little stragglers. I'm holding the skin back so I don't cut myself. You see, it's nice and hard, so that's awesome. Same thing with this. Just a slight little touch up, nothing crazy. It does go a little bit faster when you're working on a client. It's a little hard doing it one-handed on yourself, but I always like to try products out on myself before I try them on clients. Just so I know how it behaves and how it feels. So what I'm gonna do next is get my little block buffer and just buff the surface. Making sure nice and smooth. See, and I'm always looking at it down the barrel of the nail. I'm looking at it from the side, seeing where I need to contour. And I do the same thing when I'm working on clients. I'm constantly moving their hands to check the nail out from all different angles, because they're always going to be like looking at their nails and admiring them, and they'll notice things within a day. So you really want to make sure that you look at it from all different perspectives to make sure your client has a nice salon quality nail. Okay, so now they're buffed. See, that it really doesn't need much. So then I'm gonna go ahead and put a second layer of activator. Okay, and this is gonna make sure that it's fully cured. And this, we gotta make sure that it dries for a minute or two. Because if it's still damp and I go to put my top coat, it's gonna activate my top coat, and my top coat's gonna get hard on my brush. And I don't want that. Okay, so I'll give that a couple of minutes to dry, and then I will come back with the top coat. Okay guys, I went ahead and put one coat of the top coat on, and it's been about 2 minutes, so now I'm going to go ahead and put the second coat. And I decided that I was going to put a little bit of bling on one of my nails, so I figured I'd take the stones out and do that while you're watching. So this is the second coat of the number 3 top coat. And you don't need to cure the stuff in a light. You just put it on and just let it air cure. And it gets super duper duper shiny. I'm trying to figure out the best way to, let's try it this way so you guys could really see. Try not to get it on the skin because the skin has oils and you don't want to contaminate it. So I'm gonna try something. I'll let you guys know if it doesn't work, but I'm gonna try to just place the stone in the top coat because I believe the top coat is resin as well. It's like a shiny resin. So I'm hoping it'll just, being that the stone is small, it'll just stick to it. But I'll let you know if I'm wrong. Since these are small stones, you really don't need much. If I was putting a big stone on, this would not be the method I would use. But small stones don't need a heck of a lot. And to apply them, I'm using my crystal katana. So one side is like a stylus that I can go ahead and just put the stones where I want them, and this side is like a waxy side. And last but not least, the pinky. And then you're gonna, again, let this air cure for about 2 minutes or so. And that's it. There's no sticky layer to wipe, nothing else to cure. I'm just going to butt a little bit of that top coat against those crystals, not on the crystals, just close to it to make sure that it didn't move any of that top coat out of the way. All right. And there you have it. And once it's dry, then I'll go ahead and I will put cuticle oil to make the skin rehydrated again. Right now they're looking a little dry and crusty. All right, and this, just to kind of show you what I did, this is Swarovski crystals. I label them so I know which one is which, and I keep them in one of these, and I organize them by size, so I know these are my SS5 crystals. This way it makes it a little bit easier. That with my crystal katana, and it makes doing stone work much easier. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. Bye.